Yo, what's up, man? Just got finished working out. I want to welcome anybody that's new to the channel. Ain't nothing wrong with your screen. Ain't nothing wrong with your tablet, your PC, or your phone. I really look this good. And I'm born in 1969, 55 years old. It's amazing that I look as good as I look, don't it? Ain't it amazing? Yeah, I know it is. Anyway, Park 4. Look at these shorts. These the flyest shorts ever. You know why? Because me and Little Sean designed them. That's why. So look, it was on my spirit last night. It got on my spirit to make this video. What's up, man? To make this video. I was in a depression for 3.5 years, from 2011 to 2014. In 2011, April 14th, I want to say April 14th, 2011, the FBI, the IRS CID, Criminal Investigation Division, raided my office. I had my own financial consulting firm. Everything was legit. Everything was above board. I got a bachelor's degree in accounting and I got a master's in finance. I had a legitimate financial consulting business. I was a licensed real estate broker in the state of New Jersey. I had my own property management business. I owned 9 houses. I had my own house in Jersey City. And then I had a tax business with about 1,700 clients that brought me in about $330,000 a tax season. In 5 months, I would make 330 grand. I make 200 grand in February alone. My net worth was over $1 million. And, but I was doing it wrong, right? I had got greedy. Greed set in. I became obsessed with money. I became obsessed with greed. And with the desire to get rich at any cost. Motivated. But I was doing taxes the wrong way. I was getting people back bigger refunds than what I was supposed to. And my clients that owed money, I was reducing their tax liability as much as I could by giving them fake deductions and shit like that, letting them claim kids. I had girls who were from Mexico and different parts of the world that weren't citizens, that had kids that were born here, that had socials. I would let them claim these kids. I was doing it the wrong way. So the feds raided my office. I never will forget that day. The night before, April 13, 2014. No, April 2011. April 14, 2011. If I said 2014 in the beginning, that's wrong. It's 2011. April 13, 2011, I was asleep at the crib and I just tossed and turned all night. I didn't sleep good all night. I just felt something wasn't right. And hold up, let me get some water. So I'm sleeping, I ain't getting no good sleep. So I wake up the next day, April 14, 2011. I get dressed. The tax season is over. April 16th is the end of the tax season. So I'm banked up, my money tall. I got about 275 grand in my checking account. I got 2 more days of tax season. It'll all be over. I'm probably gonna take a trip and go to, I think I was gonna try to go to China or Russia by that time. Or maybe back to Africa somewhere, I don't know. So I'm like, I get dressed, I put my suit and towel. I drive to my office. I had a legitimate office, secretary, everything, man. Everything was legit. Fully incorporated LLC, tax ID number. I wasn't doing taxes in the basement under a fake EIN or a fake PTIN. I had a real PTIN. I was registered with the IRS. So I'm driving to my office, and I get in, I park my car in the parking lot, and I'm walking to my door to go in my building. And as I'm walking by, two big white boys get out of this Camaro, one of them new Camaros. I think it was a yellow one, like on Transformer, Bumblebee. It was tinted out, and they jump out. They got the bulletproof vest on, and they wearing their badges around their neck. And they step to me, and they said, "Yo, you Sean Gunby?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "We got a search warrant. We with the IRS. We coming upstairs with you." I said, "All right, come on, let's go." So boom, we walk up the stairs. They right behind me. I open my door. I go in. Then I open up my other door to go in. They come in behind me, and then the next thing I know, it's about 17, 18 federal agents having a windbreaker convention at my office. They had them navy blue windbreakers, ATF, FBI, IRS, the alphabet crew. And they was all in my office, and I'm looking around, I'm going, oh shit, oh snap. So they all in I had a 2-room office. My secretary was in the other office. I had this office. They just was in everything, man. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yo, oh, sweat. And they're going through all my paperwork. One of the agents came over. He said, what's your password to the computer in the other office? If you don't give it to me, we're still gonna get in there anyway. So I gave it to him, right? Well, no big deal. So at this time, my other secretary comes walking in my office, and they stop her cold at the door. Out of the 17 agents or more, all of them was white males. All of them was white males. It was one white female. She ran the whole thing. She was in charge of the whole thing. She was telling everybody what to do. You go over there, you go over there, you go over there. And they had one brother, one token nigga. But he was high yellow. He was light bright and damn near white. And when my secretary was coming in, they stopped her at the door, took her outside, questioned her, and poor Monica. They was in my office for like 2 hours. It was in my office for like 2 hours. And these two other agents came, they pulled me to the side. They sat me down in my waiting room, because when you walked in my office was to the left, my waiting room was right there, and my secretary's office was back there. So they came, they sat me down in my waiting room. Two federal agents. And I think one of them was the supervisor, and the dude that was interviewing me, I think he was new. I think I might have been his first case, because he was shaking, he was nervous. I was thinking like, nigga, what you nervous for? All y'all in here got guns and badges and bulletproof vests. I ain't got no gun. You scared. But I think he was new. So they sat me down right there, and that nigga, white boy, it was a white boy. That nigga came and put his chair right next to mine. He sat, I'm sitting here. He came and put his chair right next to me and sat right, we was damn near touching. And he started questioning me. And, I said, man, he showed me this W-2. He showed me this W-2. He said, you remember this W-2? And I remembered it instantly. It It was a black girl that brought it to me. She was an undercover informant. She worked for them. I think she worked for the IRS. I think she worked for the feds. She came to my office. She called. She made an appointment. She called. She made an appointment. Black girl. Soul sister. Black power. She called. She made an appointment. And her appointment was on my birthday, March 11th. And on March 11th, it snowed that year, March 11, 2011. It snowed maybe a foot and a half. And I had maybe 30 appointments. Everybody canceled their appointment that day but her. She came. I never will forget it. She called. She said, Sean, you still there? I'm still coming. I said, it's a blizzard. You come? She said, yeah, I'm coming. She came. She walked in the office. And she put her stuff down on the couch. And she says, you got a bathroom? And I told her where the bathroom was. I'm not thinking nothing of it. So she left out. She went to the bathroom. She came back. And I started doing her taxes. She gave me the W-2. And, I'm asking her my normal questions and stuff. And I got her back $1,400 than what I was supposed to get her back, right? But while she's there, she befriended me. She told me she went to a historically black college like I did. She saw my degree on the wall, Morris Brown. She told me she went to, what school did that girl tell me she went to? North Carolina, A&T. One of them black colleges in North Carolina. And I said, yeah. I said, we used to play y'all in football. She's like, yeah. So we started talking about the black college experience and all that. This is the feds. Then she sees all my pictures on the wall. I went to Africa. And she's asking me about Africa, this and that. I'm telling her, I had a good time there. Been to Egypt, Sudan, South Africa, Swaziland, all over. And I do her taxes, and she leave. But the day of the raid, when the dude was questioning me, he showed me the W-2. He said, "You remember this W-2?" And I knew it. I said, "That's that girl." He said, "You got her back $1,400 more than what you were supposed to." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you do this a lot? Do you get people back more than what they supposed to? A lot?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know any other tax preparers or anybody else that do this what you do?" I said, "Nah. I just do what I do." And that was what had happened, man, that day. And I remember he told me, the other agent, his supervisor, he said, "Sean, man, I thought you was gonna have on a bow tie today." And I looked, because I had on a regular tie. He said, "Man, I thought you was gonna have on a bow tie today." I said, "Bow tie?" I said, "How you know I wear a bow tie?" He said, "Oh man, we've been following you for about 6 months." I said, "Oh snap!" And he said, "What else do you do?" He said, "What else do you do besides this?" I said, "But man, listen, I come here, I do my taxes. I leave my house, I come here, I do the taxes, and I leave and I go home. I may stop by and get me a little piece of pussy here and there, and then I go straight home." I said, "If you've been following me for 6 months, you know that." And they came, they took all of my files, they took all of my clients' tax returns, all of their W-2s, they took everything from my office. And they left. And as they were leaving, I was like, "Yo, I'm not under arrest?" He was like, "Nah." I said, "I could still keep doing taxes?" He said, "Yeah, as long as you do them right." and they dipped. And man, my life forever changed from that moment going forward. I was never the same after that. And from that day, my life spiraled down into a crash and burn. And, you know, at that moment and during that time period, I thought it was a curse, right? And come to find out, right, the black girl who was the undercover agent that brought the W-2 to me, she was wearing a camera. And she video recorded the whole interaction of me and her with me preparing her tax return. Because when me and my attorney went down to meet with the IRS to try to work out a deal, they showed me the video. They showed me the video that this girl wore a camera. And when they showed me the video, I was done. I just had to fall on my sword, right? And they wanted me to cooperate and sign a 5K1 and become an informant and rat out my clients, and they could call me at any time and tell me to go here or tell me to go there and help them. And I said, man, I'm not doing that. And I refused to become a rat or an informant, and they sent me to prison. But if I would have cooperated, I probably could have stayed out the joint and stayed with my son, but I couldn't do that. I ain't that kind of nigga. I've never been that. I've never ratted in my life, ever. But my life spiraled out of control. My revenue from my tax business went from $330,000 a tax season to the next year. I think I did $150. It got cut in half because the word spread, right? And one of the hardest things I had to do was when the feds came, they confiscated all of the W-2s because I had all the returns I had completed, and I was waiting for clients to come back and pick up their information or come and pick up their checks because I was able to print the checks in the office. They took all of that. So I had to get on the phone and call all of my clients, man, of the information they took, and tell them, say, yo, the feds just came, they raided my office, they took your information. Yo, that was one of the most difficult things, man. Embarrassing, humiliating, but I did it. I called everybody. And, you know, come to find out later as time played out, some of my own clients was cooperating against me. They had already went and met with them before they came to see me. See, this is how the feds work. Anybody tell you that the feds came to see them and talk to them and the feds just mysteriously disappeared and let them go, that's a lie. That's a lie. If they come to see you, they got what they got. They already know what the story is, and they just coming to see if you gonna tell some lies. But I come to find out later that before they even came to my office, they had already went and met with some of my clients and scared the shit out of them and made them flip and agree to, that's Sean trying to call me, and agree to hold on, y'all. This Sean call. What's up, man? What's up?
I know you're dead. Hey, Sean.
What's up, man?
Nothing much down in the country. How you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, Nan, let me finish. I'm doing something right now. I'm going to call y'all back in like 5 minutes.
Okay, right. We're out in the country.
All right.
You don't call us back.
I'm going to call you back, so I'm filming a video.
All right.
Say what's up. they had already went and met with my clients and scared them and told them that, look, Sean got you back more money than what you were supposed to. And how I noticed was because I called some of the clients and they told me. They said, Sean, they came to my house. This was after the fact. And they told me that you got me back more money than what I was supposed to, and that I was gonna have to owe all of that money back plus penalties and interest, or I could agree to, they didn't say this, but I knew that's what the deal was, or they could agree to cooperate and testify against me if I took my case to trial. So you know what they did. They shot me in the head, my own clients. That's why nobody cares. So a lot of my clients, people that I knew, people that I helped get clean from drugs and alcohol, people that I knew from Narcotics Anonymous, people I knew from Alcoholics Anonymous, people that I helped put their families back together, people that I helped get their lives together, people that I helped get clean, that I knew for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, shot me in the head. Boom! Didn't even call me and tell me, say, yo, Sean, the people just came to my house, man. They on to you, man. They didn't say nothing, man. And that was devastating to me. That hurt me so bad. Out of the whole thing, that betrayal is what hurt me the most deeply, because things that people did to me. Now, I know I put myself in that position. Everything that I'm talking about is all my fault. But the shit niggas did to me, my white clients, my Spanish clients, my Jamaican clients, my Italian clients, my Polish clients, my foundational black, all of them, what they did to me, I never would have did to them. I'm just not that way. I wasn't raised that way. I didn't grow up in the streets that way. I grew up, you get in trouble, you keep your mouth shut. You take it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm sure all of them said, I didn't tell Sean to do that to my child. I didn't tell him to do that. And they know full well. They knew. Some of them asked me flat out, Sean, could you get me back more? All right, here go your refund, $1,400. Yo, Sean, I need more than that. Could you put $200, $300 on top? All right, sharpen the pencil. Yeah, now you got $1,900. Thanks, Sean. So everybody knew what it was, but when they got busted and the feds came to visit them, I didn't tell Sean to do that. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. But they had already went and met with a lot of them, right? So they wanted me to cooperate. I wouldn't do it. So the girl videotaped everything. So I just told my attorney, I said, man, he said, Sean, just chill. Let's hold out. Let's let some time go by. Because any case that's rushed to the court doesn't turn out well for the defendant. He said, let's just delay it for a year, 2, 3 years, and then people forget about it, right? And then when it comes across the judge's desk, he looks at it and sees that it's so old, he or she is more inclined to be lenient. You know what I'm saying? So I took that advice, and I just chilled. I just chilled for like 3.5 years. I chilled for like 3.5 years. And then I finally got so tired, you know, I went into a depression. You know, my business got cut in half. Everybody started to betray me. You know, my life just was bad, man. And from that, I went into a depression, y'all, so deep because I was scared, right? Because with the feds, a federal investigation is no joke. No joke. No joke. And a lot of people kill themselves, man, when they get investigated by the feds. A lot of people commit suicide and kill themselves, man. But I was so afraid. And then at this time, let me tell you this. Now, the feds came October 14th, excuse me, April 14th, 2011. Little Sean was born 40 days later, May 24th, 2011. So they came and raided my office 40 days before Little Sean was born, right? So, and this is all my fault. So what was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, me giving birth to my first child, was under the umbrella of a federal investigation. So I couldn't even enjoy and be as happy as I probably should have been with the birth of my. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? What's up with you?
Cool. How you?
Good. Good.
Yeah, I see you working, man, every day, bro.
Yeah.
Gonna get like you.
Yeah. You know, and that's how Little Sean was born, man. And you know, my life just went down, man. And you know, I had, now the day they came, like I told you, my net worth, I had about $275,000 in my checking account, my business checking. My TD Ameritrade stock trading account had $656,000 in it. What is that, 934,000? And then I had a house I owned in Paterson, New Jersey, free and clear, that was worth about $150 at the time. So that put me over $1 million, right? And you know, I thought I was on top of the world. I became a millionaire when I was 38 with my tax business. I started doing taxes in 1999, 2000, and by 2008, 8 years later, I had over $1 million net worth. I was 38, and you know, the money, that amount of money, it drove me crazy. You know, it made me very reckless, right? When I became a millionaire, I became reckless and careless, right? Because with money, you can buy circumstances, you could buy people, and that's what I was doing. And you know, I thought that money was well, money was my God. And I thought, I grew up in America, right? I'm a foundational Black American. I grew up here. I'm a part of the Native Americans, the Native foundational Black Americans from here. I'm not from the Caribbean. I'm not from Africa. I was indoctrinated to believe here that your self-esteem and your respect level is based on how much money you got, right? That's how we're indoctrinated to believe in America. So when I got this money, I thought that I was the ultimate success. But when I had that kind of money, I was the weakest man I've ever been. The money actually made me weak in terms of I was 195 pounds, out of shape, high triglycerides, borderline diabetic, high blood pressure, just a mess. I thought that because I had American Express and I was buying custom tailor-made suits with my name sewn in them. I'm buying Hickey Freeman suits, $3,600 a piece off of Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. I'm buying Brooks Brothers suits from the flagship store on Fifth Ave, Hickey Freeman flagship store on Fifth Ave. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying Johnstone Murphy shoes, $300 a crack off the flagship store on Fifth Ave. I'm wearing silk ties, silk suspenders, shirts. You know what I'm saying? I'm flying to Africa. I'm flying to Cuba. I'm flying back to Africa. I'm flying to Brazil. I got all kind of money. I'm smoking, you know, big time cigars. I'm going to the Club Macanudo in Manhattan between Park Ave and Lexington, you know, spending $200 on a dinner. This is back in 2010, 2008, 2009. And I thought that that made me a success. But, you know, when I came down off of that fantasy, I realized that I really was a fool. You understand? And you know, I was dealing with a bunch of women. I was dealing with about 6, 7, 8 women at one time, fucking them all raw, no rubber. You know, just out of my mind, just crazy out of my mind. And you know, I'm tricking with some. I'm paying this one's car insurance. I'm paying this one's car note. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying this one's. You know what I'm saying? I'm just paying her to come and you know what I'm saying? Give me some head. You know. But then I had 3 main honeys. I had 3 main honeys that I loved and that loved me. You know, any 3 of them, if I would have asked them to sign on the bottom line, sign on the dotted line in blue ink, they would have did it. But I was a player, man. I was a player. The money, I was a player. I was good looking. I was rich, and I was good looking, and I was smart, and I had my own business, and I was playing. You know, and I thought that you know, having a bunch of women and a bunch of money, I thought that was what a nigga was supposed to do, and that's what I did. But I learned that was what's the word I'm looking for? I learned that was something that was fake, because when I went to prison, when I finally took a plea deal, I didn't cooperate. I went to the joint. None of them bitches wrote me. None of them called me. None of them wrote me. Even the main ones that I was dealing with. And Little Sean's mother was one. Little Sean's mother was my secretary. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up cooperating against me and stealing custody of Little Sean from me through the whole thing. Yeah. None of them wrote me. None of them offered to send me money. None of them offered to come visit me. No matter how much help I did, none of them offered to go get Sean a slice of pizza and a soda for $3. None of them offered to go buy Sean a Happy Meal while I was in prison. And I had done all of this stuff for a lot of them. But hey, I was the sucker, right? I was the chump. That's what I learned. And you know, you find your friends, man. You're only gonna find the people that love you when you're in the most trouble. When you sick and when you in trouble, that's what my mother used to tell me. She said, you ain't gonna find your friends but 2 times. You ain't gonna find your friends but 2 times. When you sick and when you in trouble. Whoever come in, them your friends. She was right. And that's what happened. And I went into a depression so deep, I ended up, and see, with the money that I had in my trading account, when the feds came, I panicked. And I said, these motherfucking crackers gonna freeze my account. So let me take this money, this $650,000, and let me triple this. So if they freeze my account, they only can freeze $650,000, and I can make another $650 that I could still move and groove with. You know what I'm saying? And in the process of doing that, see, one thing one thing I learned is you don't make any decisions out of desperation, when you're feeling fear, when you're depressed, when you're angry. You don't make no financial decisions when you're feeling that. And I took that $656,000 and I made some crazy bets in the options market, and I lost it all. And I wanted to die. I couldn't believe it. I lost all of that money. My tax business revenue, like I just told you, got cut in half. So this lifestyle that I was accustomed to living, and this image that I have built up to show the world of my success, had crashed on me, had blown up, and I was no longer able to live the kind of lifestyle that I was living because I blew all my money, and my business was devastated, right? And I went into a depression so deep, man. I couldn't believe it. I was so mad with me. I was so disappointed in myself that I began to hate myself. And in that hatred of myself, I just beat myself up. Boom, boom. Just told myself how stupid I was, and just spiraled down. And like I say, I was in a depression so deep that I almost didn't come out. The only thing that saved me, the one person that saved me was Little Sean. Because at this time, he's 1.5, 18 months, 2 years old. And I remember being at my house in Jersey City with him. Shout out to Gardner Avenue. And we would be in the house, and Sean was a little baby. It'd just be me and him. Everybody had dipped. All the honeys had dipped. The phones. When niggas found out that the feds came to my office, everybody stopped calling my phone. I had to call AT&T and say, yo, operator, is my phone on? Can you call it to make sure that it's working? Because everybody stopped calling, except my mother and Little Sean's mother when we had to do the exchange for him. That was a disaster. And Sean would be walking around in the house, and he would come up to me. He'd be like 18 months old or a year, whatever, and he would say out of the blue, he'd say, Daddy, I love you. And I would look at him, and like I say, I thought I was upset with myself because the money that I lost was for him, right? The $1 million that I had accumulated was for him, and I had lost it all. So I hated myself for that. And here he was telling me that he loved me when I had fucked up all of his money. And he used to say, Daddy, I love you. And I used to look at him and be like, why? Why do you love me? Because I really can't stand me right now. Just I used to say this to myself. But when he used to say that, that would put wind in my sail, right? That would fill my cup up to go one more day. And that's how he kept me afloat. He kept me afloat. And I stayed out like 3.5 years. And then during this time I'm worried. I don't know what they're gonna do. Am I gonna have to go to prison or what? Can I get some probation? Can I get some home confinement? I'm scared to go to prison. I've never been to prison before. I did a little county jail time at Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, DeKalb County Jail in Atlanta on Memorial Drive, but never to the feds. So I was nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof. I was scared to go to prison. But I got in touch with a cousin down in South Carolina. My cousin God had did Fed time, and I called him one day. He was talking to me. He said, Sean, man, you got to get that shit behind you. He said, man, you can't do nothing with that shit in front of you. You got to get that shit behind you. Call your lawyer, man, and tell your lawyer, man, you ready to go to court, man. Call your lawyer. He was from down south. He was from South Carolina. He did like 8 years in the feds. Man, call your lawyer, man. Tell your lawyer you ready to go to court, man. He said, you got to get this behind you. And that gave me strength. And he was right. Any of y'all out there dealing with some issue that's in front of you that you avoiding, you never gonna grow, you never gonna feel peace of mind until you confront that issue, deal with it, however it may turn out, and get it behind you, man. And he was right. I called my lawyer. I said, yo, let's go to court, man. Let's get this over with. And I went down there and they did my PSI and my guideline range. I was on a white collar crime, so my base offense level was $84,000, right? With a white collar crime with the feds, your sentencing is going to be based upon the loss to the United States government. So anything over 80,000, one penny, is mandatory incarceration. So my base offense level came in at 84,000. I was category 0, zone level 15, zone D, mandatory incarceration. I was devastated because I had to leave Little Sean, right? And 29 days before I got scheduled, I went to court. When did I go to court? I had to be to Morgantown October 6th. I went to court August the 6th. August the 6th. Me and Sean, nobody offered to go to court with me. Nobody offered. All the people that I helped, nobody offered to do nothing. Me and Sean caught the PATH train from Jersey City to Newark, 50 Walnut Street. And me and Little Sean went to court. August 6th, 2014. He was 3. And me and him walked into the court. That's the only nigga that came to federal court with me, Little Sean. Nobody called, offered, Sean, you need support, can I come? You want me to watch Little Sean while you go? Nobody, everybody went dead. The phone went dead. Nobody called. Nobody loves you. You think people love you. They only love you for what you could do for them. And me and him went to court. They made him sit outside. And my brother Keith, this punk ass, he cooperated against me. My own brother, half brother, whatever. Because when I got into court, there was this dude that was sitting in the back that my brother had called me one time and told me his name out of the blue. See, me and my brother, we never got along. You know, me and neither one of my brothers, right? I had 3 brothers. 2 of them my mother had when she was very young, and she left them down south. I had a 3rd brother. His name was Rodney. My mother had him and let him go into the foster system. He got adopted. She was dealing with a married man. My mother was dealing with a married man. She got pregnant by a married man. She wanted the married man to leave his wife. He wouldn't. And they had 2 children together, Keith and Rodney. And I found out about Rodney like around 2005, 2006, something like that. But the 2 brothers that got left in Lincolnton, Georgia, Kent Gunby and Keith Gunby, they always hated me. They hated my mother, rightfully so, because she abandoned them and left them down south, right? But when she had Rodney that nobody knew about in the world, she abandoned him completely and left him in the hospital. She had him, she left the hospital, she told the people she was gonna come back, she never went back, and Rodney went into the foster system. This is my mother. Then she had me, and she kept me. So them 2 niggas always resented me. Well, they resented my mother. They hated my mother. And I probably would have hated her too had she did to me what she did to them. So I understood that. But they used to try to come and talk shit about my mother to me. And I wasn't gonna go for that, right? That wasn't, she didn't treat me like that. I could dig your situation. Well, I really can't dig your situation. I can't empathize with you. I don't know how that feel, whatever. But this is my mother. I got a new big wheel every Christmas. I got a 3-speed bike every Christmas. I got a 10-speed bike. I got Atari, ColecoVision, big wheel, green machine, AFX racetrack, Tyco train set. You know, every Christmas I had the dope Christmas. I had new Pro Cads, Dr. J Converse, Adidas, ponies, Spalding, Clyde Spalding, whatever. Goose jacket, you understand? Leather, whatever anybody else got, I got. New moped. So she didn't treat me like that. And I love this woman. So the one nigga, Keith, he cooperated with the feds to help nail me because his hatred for me and my mother. So when I go into court, he tells me, keep telling me this dude's name. So I go look up the dude on the Google, and I see that he's some kind of IRS dude. But this is before, this is like years before I even get busted. So when I go in the court, I look in the back, here's this white dude that my brother was telling me about. I said, oh snap, that's the. So long story short, even your family will stab you in the back. So I go to court. The prosecutor, the assistant U.S. attorney is black. She recommends 18 months incarceration for me. So they grant the 18 months. So I get sentenced to 18 months, but I get released. I get ROR and $100,000 unsecured bond. So me and Little Sean are able to leave the court and go back to Jersey City. But when I got sentenced, I felt a lot of relief because at least I knew. A lot of my fear came from the unknown, like not knowing. When you don't know what's finna happen and you unsure, that's when I have and you have the most fear, worry, wonder, insecurity because you don't know. But when they told me that I had to go to prison, that I was going to prison, I'm sentenced to prison, it was like, all right, cool. I'm scared to go to prison, but now I know I got to go. Now I know what it is. They said, go home and get your affairs in order. So that was August the 6th. About a week or two later, I got a letter from the United States government saying that I had to report to FCI Morgantown on October the 6th, 2014, which was exactly 60 days after I got sentenced. And if I wasn't there by 12:01, I would be considered a fugitive and the U.S. Marshals will come and find me. So me and Little Sean caught the train back. I felt a whole lot better. And, you know, the next 60 days, I spent as much time I spent as much time with Little Sean as I could because I knew I had to leave him. 29 days before I got ready to self-surrender to prison, Sean's mother took me to court in Paterson, New Jersey, and stole custody of him from me. And here I was going to have to leave my child with a woman that cooperated with the feds against me. And she was still involved with the dude that he didn't like me. She was involved with her other kid's father. He didn't like me because I was fucking her while they were still living together, right? And he knew it. So here I am, I got to go to prison, and I got to leave my son with somebody that's already betrayed me, and she's living with somebody that hate me. So I go to my lawyer, the public pretender at the time, because I had fired my other lawyer. That's a whole nother story. And I said, look, man, I can't go to prison, man. I got to stay out here and fight for custody of my son, man. And he looked at me, he said, Sean, the only way you're going to be able to stay out of prison because you got mandatory incarceration, level 15, zone D. He said, I could get you 2 points. I could get 2 points knocked off your level, but you got to sign a 5K1. You got to cooperate. You got to become an informant. And that's turning in your clients. That's helping us where you got to wear wires and shit like that. If we ask you, no matter what time we call you and ask you to go somewhere and do this, do that, you got to do it. And I said, man, I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. And I went to prison. And I remember the Saturday, I had to be to Morgantown. I had to be to prison that Monday at 12 noon. I had Sean that weekend, Friday, Saturday. And I had a flight. Where I flew from Newark, New Jersey to Charleston, West Virginia. Was that on Saturday? I stayed a hotel night in Charleston, West Virginia. Then I caught the bus from Charleston, West Virginia to Morgantown on Sunday. This was all my nickel. The Fed's not paying for you to show up to prison. I had to spend my own money. And I caught the bus to Morgantown, got a hotel room, and the next morning, Monday morning, I called the cab said, yo, I need a cab over here. I was staying at the Hampton Inn. The cab driver came. I said, yo, take me to prison. Take me to FCI Morgantown. And he drove me to Morgantown. But we stopped at the post office first, and I mailed all of these books and materials that I wanted to read into myself. I mailed myself the books because I had already had my registration number and the address of the prison, and I mailed the stuff into me. And then after we left the post office, I said, now take me to prison. And he took me and dropped me off right in front of it. And but I spent that last Friday with Sean. I dropped him off. I think it was Saturday. It was Friday night. And he turned around. He was 3. And he turned around. He said, Daddy, I'll see you tomorrow. I said, nah, man. I said, nah, man. I ain't coming tomorrow. He said, okay. Bye. And he walked up into the house with his mother. And I had to watch that, knowing she had cooperated against me. And I left, and I started driving back to Jersey City. By this time, all of my houses are in foreclosure. All 9 of my properties are in foreclosure. I stopped paying all of the mortgages because I was using the rent money I was collecting to pay my bills and live my life because my business had went down. And I went back to Jersey City. My Jersey City house was in foreclosure. Everything was in foreclosure. And when I got on the New Jersey Turnpike right there at the Meadowlands, and I was going down to Jersey City, exit 14B, I pulled over on the side of the turnpike, and it felt like somebody had stabbed me in my soul. And I just cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. I mean, boo-hooing, snot. I was on the side of that turnpike on that shoulder for about 20 minutes, man. Because I knew I hadn't felt nothing since the start of this whole case in like 3.5 years. And I went home, and I didn't have to pack nothing. I got a ride to who took me to the airport the next day? I think my friend took me to the airport, my female friend. And I flew one way, first class. I bought a first class ticket. I had some tickets left over that I didn't use, so I had flight credit. So I said, yo, give me a first class flight. When I sat down in first class, I told the stewardess, bring me everything you got. Let me eat everything, whatever you got, bring it. Because I knew where I was going, it wasn't going to be no good food. And I flew out there and I went. And I remember I was scared to death. But let me say this. Federal prison, for me, it saved me. It saved my life. Because it was in there, and I'm glad they sent me out to West Virginia, which is about a 6.5 hour ride from Jersey. So I didn't have to worry about nobody coming to visit me. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good thing, because when I got in there, it was a major relief. When I got to prison, it was a major relief, because I didn't have to front no more. I didn't have to figure out how to scheme to come up with how I could keep paying the mortgages so I can keep up this image of who I was. I didn't have to do no taxes. I didn't have to do no real estate. I didn't have to pay no bills. It was a major relief. And it was like a backpack. It was taken off my back. And I was free. And for the first time in my life, I had a chance to really look at myself. And that's what I did. When I got in there, I just looked at myself. I said, Sean, something is wrong with you. How could you be 45 years old and you blow up your life like this? And I started doing a lot of work on myself. You know what I'm saying? Really looking at myself. Really examining, writing. And that was the best place for me, man. And some of the smartest men that I've ever met in this world, I met in Morgantown. Some of the strongest men that I met in this world, I met in Morgantown. Not only strength physically, but I mean strength of soul, strength of spirit, strength of mind. These were some giants. And a lot of them dudes mentored me, whether they knew it or not. One of them was Jay. And Jay, he commented on one of my videos yesterday, man. I hope he called me. My nigga Black, bunch of niggas, man, Mister. Even the dudes that didn't like me, even the dudes that didn't like me and I didn't like, they mentored me too. I learned from that whole experience, man. And when I came up out of there, I was a monster. I was a monster. When I came up out of there mentally and spiritually, discipline-wise, fortitude, stamina, strength, power, clarity of thought, penetration of thought, penetrating thoughts, strength of mind, strength of character, integrity, honesty. I emerged from that place, man, as a god. And I got out January 2016, and I never stopped since. I started my first YouTube in 2018. I ran that channel up to $98,000, YouTube shadow banned it. I took it down, and then I started this channel, and I just ran this one up to 112. I done had over 60 million, maybe 70 million views on YouTube by now, right? And I couldn't get a job when I got out of prison. And I got a bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's in finance. I couldn't even get a job at Wendy's, fast food restaurant. Nobody would hire me. At the gyms, nothing. When you got a federal felony on your jacket, it's tough. But that didn't stop me, because I'm a champion. So I started a window cleaning business. I didn't go get no welfare, I didn't get no food stamps, no government assistance. I started a window cleaning business and made my comeback. And I've been out of prison now 8.5 years. Never went back to jail, never got arrested, never had no more trouble with the law. I don't want no problem with the law. And I came all the way back. The only thing I don't have back, out of everything that I lost, I got it all back except the money. But the money is small potatoes. The money is small potatoes. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna come back. But I'm probably 11 times the man that I was when I had money. When I had money, when I was a millionaire, I was the weakest that I ever was in my life. Because money, excessive luxury and excessive money breeds weakness. It breeds weakness mentally. That's why when I meet dudes that got a lot of money, if I'm in around and people that got a lot of money, none of that impresses me. None of that. How much money you got, your car, your plane, I had all of that. I had all of that. I could buy any car I wanted. If I wanted to fly private, I could have flew private. I never did, but I had the money to do all of that, and I was at the weakest, man. So like when I'm with around, I can't be impressed by money because I know that a lot of times the money is just a costume. It's a curtain to give off an image of something that I'm not. And if you pull back the curtain, you pull back the sheet, you see around is nothing but garbage and litter and trash and weakness. So when I meet rich dudes or dudes that got money, I look at their body language, I look at their body, I listen to their mind, I let them talk, I look at how they treat people, and a lot of times I could see myself. I could see my old weak self in them, and then I know this dude is a nobody. He thinks he is who he is because he got money. So when I came out of prison, when I got to Morgantown, FCI Morgantown, it was about 1,300 dudes on the compound. And all these niggas did was work out. That's all they did was work out. And read books and debate and play chess. I hung around the winners. I didn't hang around the losers. I hung around with the winners, with the scholars, with the geniuses, with the seers, right? The scientists. And you know, I changed myself, man. That place changed me. And when I started hearing other people's stories, dudes losing, one dude lost $9 million. You know what I'm saying? This one lost 17 million. This one lost, this one had 2 restitutions, 85 million and 110 million. He lost 250 million. And you start hearing these stories, and these dudes was up, man. Their spirit wasn't broken. Their energy wasn't down. They all had the attitude like, I'm gonna come back. He lost 30 million. And everybody, it was such a competitive environment that everybody was arrogant, everybody was conceited, everybody was talking about the comeback they were gonna make when they got out. And that shit, it rubbed off on me. And that's what I started to think about. And when I got out, I know the kind of nigga I am. I know that I'm a bad man, 100%. Nothing is impossible for me. You understand? I'm as strong as they come, right? I could do anything. I believe in me, 1,000%. I believe in me 1,000%. And so, you know what I'm saying? My depression got taken care of in prison. Like, as soon as I got there and I started talking to dudes and they was telling me about their stories and stuff, then I knew I wasn't alone, right? And that my situation wasn't as bad. I tell you all the time, you think your problem is bad. If we all got in a circle and threw our problems in the middle of the floor, you'll be fighting to get your problems back. And then I came up out of my depression. I never took no medication, none of that. I just had to ride it out. And, you know, I came back, man. So that's my story about the 3.5 years I was in depression, man. You know what I'm saying? But I came up out of it. And, you know, I'm money, man. I'm money. I started all over from scratch. I got released from prison with $1,900. My truck wouldn't start. It was a blizzard the first day I got out, 1.5 feet of snow. My truck wouldn't start. I had to take it to Honda. They charged me $500 to get it right. So I had $1,900. I gave them $500. That left me $1,400. Me and Sean was living in the basement of my female friend. Shout out to her. Shout out to Lisa for letting me get released to her house. And from her basement, I came back with $1,400. You understand? Started this YouTube channel. I wrote 3 books. I got a line of t-shirts. I got a line of shorts. You know what I'm saying? I'm that nigga, man. I'm all that, man. I'm all that. All that, man. My story is amazing, man. But my shit got dark. It got dark. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you. What I want you to do is just to draw whatever inspiration you could draw from this story, draw it. I'm not gonna tell you can make a comeback, because I don't know if you can. Everybody can't. Some people gonna give up and quit and take their life. Some people are gonna never be the same. Their spirit will be broken forever. Some people may make a partial comeback, and then you're gonna have the great ones, the exceptional human beings, the superior human beings like myself, that makes full comebacks, and we exceed where we were before. You understand? Just telling you what it is. Don't never stop. That's why I look like this. Go get you a pair of these shorts on my website, man. Or go buy my hoodie or something. Go support the platform. Sean G. Peace.